Hi guys, it's Kate from Counsel and Life Coaching. Today is Therapy Thursday, and we're gonna be talking about self-esteem. Oh yay, self-esteem. Well, we all need it, right? It's important for us to have it. So we're just gonna define it. We're gonna talk a little bit about it tonight, and we'll just kind of work through little things. What do you think? You on board? Okay, here we go. Let's define self-esteem. When someone feels good about themselves and who they are said to have good self-esteem, right? Having healthy self-esteem is essential to living well, being productive member of society, right? Low self-esteem not only affects the individual's internal world, your heart and your mind, but their external actions as well, because you've heard me tell you where your mind goes, your body follows. And it limits their ambitions and their choices in life. Okay. As Maslow hierarchy of needs defines it, self-esteem is essential to living a good life, such as good nutrition, a safe environment, even love. Okay. Anyone's self-esteem can fluctuate through life. So ideally, however, there's not too dramatic of a change from day to day. Having a healthy internal dialogue is essential for maintaining a balanced self-esteem, having that healthy internal dialogue. Now, we all have that voice in our head, right? All of us have the voice in our head saying, oh yeah, you need to change your toilet paper roll, or oh, my gas gauge is lower, I need to fill that up. You don't have to say it out loud to yourself, although some of us do talk to ourselves. I'm one of those people. I'm an external processor, so when something pops in my head, I typically say it out loud. I have to work on not saying it out loud. But the internal dialogue, all of us have that. And a lot of our internal dialogues can default to lower self-esteem and putting ourselves in that lowly place. And so we have to work at having a healthy internal monologue going on in our head. That's something we have to work at, okay? And that's needed for maintaining a balanced, healthy self-esteem. So after all, self-esteem is too high. People have too high of self-esteem. It can be as detrimental as low self-esteem, and can suggest the presence of other mental disorders, such as like narcissistic personality disorder. So let's talk about self-esteem versus self-image, okay? It can be difficult to understand the distinctions between the two. They are interrelated, but different. Learning the difference between the two can help us understand self-esteem and develop self-esteem. So in short, self-esteem is how someone interprets their self-image. Self-esteem is how we interpret our self-image. So a self-image includes how an individual perceives, how we perceive ourselves, but it could also include how other people perceive us. As an example, a person might narrate their self-image as, I'm kind and constructive member of a social circle. This might also translate into, my being a kind, constructive member of the social circle means that my friends like me. Okay, so as a result of the positive self-image, this individual might then say, I'm happy with who I am. Oftentimes, low self-esteem starts with a negative or a faulty sense of self-image. So recognizing negative self-image and low self-esteem, this is something we need to do. We need to be able to recognize it. So recognizing how either low self-esteem or negative self-esteem works within ourselves can be hard. Negative ideation can be habitual. It's like a habit that we have, having this negative narration going on in our head, a view of ourselves. And therefore, it's hard to have like normal eyes towards ourselves. Like we have a skewed vision of ourselves. So self-evaluation is key to assess how we can, it's like we need to be able to self-evaluate. But sometimes we can't because literally our lens is skewed from habitually being down on ourselves, okay? So not everyone with low self-esteem is shy or unassuming either, okay? Oftentimes those with negative self-image overcompensate with exaggerated confidence. Some might even insult or tease others. So some people develop mental illnesses as a result of low self-esteem, including depression and social anxiety. And those with eating disorders additionally have skewed self-image. So signs of either scenario, okay? It can look like self-doubt. So do you struggle with self-doubt, shame, negative thinking or pessimism, refusal to accept responsibility, faulty boundary setting or maintenance, social withdrawal, lashing out at others, or demonstrate an aversion to compliments? Do you have any of those things? It could be because you view yourself skewed and you have a low self-esteem. Some physical symptoms associated with these conditions could include stomach issues with no outward cause, headaches, back pain, insomnia, or exhaustion. Isn't that interesting? It physically manifests in our lives. Some of the causes of low self-esteem, they can be triggered by life events, or can just come from multiple triggers. It can also stem from individuals like natural characteristics. People can uncover their roots of low self-esteem in a therapeutic setting. And in order to, by identifying the roots, that's the best way to move towards a healthy self-esteem and self-image. Some causes of low self-esteem can include, okay, this is the reasons we struggle with low self-esteem. Ready? Disapproval of authority figures or parents, maybe emotionally distant parents, sexual, physical, or emotional abuse, contentious divorce between parents, bullying with no parental protection, academic difficulties, guilt associated with religion, social beauty standards, and unrealistic goal setting. Okay. These are causes of our low self-esteem. So you may have one of those, you may have 4 of those, but the reality is a lot of people struggle with it. This is something that I've had to work on and work through. It's still a part of me. It's still something that I think about, that I work towards. When we were talking about the signs of either scenario having the low self-image, low self-esteem, there's some things on that list that even I'm still working on. And I think it's really, really important as we navigate life together that we don't put any shame on top of the issues that we're dealing with and we're working on, because the beauty comes and the freedom and the positivity and the goodness comes by the fact that we recognize what's going on. We see, oh, I have low self-esteem. And then we take actions to change it. When you're on that path, on that trajectory, there is no shame. There is no shame. So I'm just going to say, hey, shame, lift off of you, because if we recognize it and we're making choices, hey, I got this thing and I'm working at to be healthy. That is the best path you can be on, because guess what? No one's arrived yet. No one's perfect as far as I know, only Jesus. We're not there. And so even if we're struggling with this, it doesn't make you a bad person. It just makes you a person. You're just a person trying to have the best life you can, right? And if this is something you struggle with, which is very, very common with a lot of people I talk to, recognize it and say, hey, I want to take steps to walk in a new direction, to have a healthier self-image and a self-esteem. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay, low self-esteem, it's a real thing. And with it, we can, without having that, I'm just gonna say it like this. If we can work on our self-esteem to the point where we have a healthy sense of self-esteem, we're gonna have a much better, healthier life, mind, body, and spirit. I'm Kate from Open Door Counsel and Life Coaching, and that's your Therapy Thursday.